As you're coming in, please join us in this song. Page 128 in your blue books, friends, as we begin. Hinei ma tov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. 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 U'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. Shabbat shalom. Good to see you. The energy in here is a little bit different than when we had lots of screaming toddlers just about an hour ago having their service, which I have to tell you, I like both. They're both good, each in their own way. So good for us to be together. As usual, as we have done since the war began, we begin by acknowledging the hostages, thinking of their families, offering a prayer for their safe return. So actually, this is something we can all participate in. I'll invite everybody to please rise. Does anybody in here not have a list of hostage names who would like to participate? Yeah, please. And both of you too? Excellent, thank you. One for Helena and one for you. Okay. All right, you guys got? Would you like to participate, you guys? So we'll each read a list of 10 or 12 names. Thank God a few weeks ago we had 2 more hostages released. We hope that there will be a peace deal very, very, very soon. We want this fighting to end, these hostages to go free. And as we read their names, we can think of each one of them, their life, the life of their family, and the care that we hope they will receive when they are reunited with their loved ones. So please, let's slowly read each name individually. Together we read the prayer for their release. Tefillah Liftion Hashvuyim, the prayer for the captives, is on the top of this page that you got when you came in. Achenu kol beit Yisrael hanatunim b'tzara u'v'shivya ha'omdim bein bayam u'vein bayabasha hamakom yerachem aleihem v'yotzi'em mitzara l'ravacha u'me'afela la'ora u'meshiyabu l'geula hashtab agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Together, our brothers and sisters, the whole house of Israel, who are in distress and captivity, who wander over sea and over land, may God have mercy on them and bring them from distress to comfort, from darkness to light, from slavery to redemption, now, swiftly, and soon. Amen, amen, amen. Please have a seat, everybody. Page 120, page 120. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'hanikne shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Over the next couple of weeks, I will be introducing some melodies for Kabbalat Shabbat, some of which will be ones that we know, others of which will be new, because we have a guest artist coming in only a couple of short weeks. And her name is Eliana Light. She's a wonderful musician. She's going to be our Solidker musician in residence. And she's going to bring some of her own original music and also some cool harmonies that we haven't had in a while to hear a male and female voice up here singing together. So you might, in the next couple of weeks, be guinea pigs with some experimental new melodies, and I hope that is okay. This time, I'm not going to introduce a new one. I'll save that for next week. But we will turn to an old one that we're trying to revive a little, so I hope you'll help me do that. It's page 134. This is the Zamru Ladonai melody. We'll be singing this the next couple of weeks, page 134. Oh, here's the melody just as a nigun first to remind us how this goes. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה, בחצוצרות וכל שופר. הריעו לבני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי בה, נהרות ימחה וכף יחד הרים ירננו. לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים ומישרים. 5 lines down, ירם. ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי בה, נהרות ימחה וכף יחד הרים ירננו. Page 138. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 3. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, ומצאים מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי, דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, בני Shabbat nekra bela. Please rise. We face the entrance to welcome Shabbat. Verse 9. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha u'betzola, toch emunei am sedula. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. We remain standing and we turn to page 146. 146. Adonai, Amen. Seat, everybody. Page 149. We can read together. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Umavir yom umevi laila, umavir ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamid imloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, Amariv Aravi. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha avta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu V'shochveinu v'kumeinu נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 152, Shema. We can rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Page 154, we can have a seat. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha Uvlechtecha vaderech, uveshoch becha uvekumecha, ukishartam leot ayadecha, ve'ayu letotafot bein einecha, uchetavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kidoshim leloechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liod lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. We have a volunteer who would be willing to read something in English to direct our hearts to Michamocha, to our freedom prayer. Page 157 at the top. Take any volunteer. Ted, thank you very much. Sorry, this might not be tall enough for you.
It's fine. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, the promised land, that the winding way to the promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Thank you very much. I can't help, as you read that, but think about how excited I am for our weekend next weekend. We're going to have visitors from the First Congregational Church here in Madison, including their choir to sing with our choir, and the relationships that we've been building, in large part thanks to the work of Kulanu and other initiatives, are really going to be what takes us into the next chapter of navigating these stormy waters of life in these days and in this country together. And so, reflecting on that, maybe we'll be reading that next week too, as we join hand in hand, marching together. Page 158, Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai. Yada dai 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 yada dai 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 yada dai 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 yada dai 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 yada dai 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 yada dai 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 Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai Micha Mocha Nedar B'Kodesh Nora Tehilot Osefele, Osefele, Malchutecha Ra'uvanecha, Bokayam Lifnei Moshe, Malchutecha Ra'uvanecha, Bokayam Lifnei Miriam, Zeli Anu. Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed yada dai 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 yada dai 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 yada dai 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 yada dai da da dai da 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 dai 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 yada dai 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 ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גא ישראל. Page 160, 160. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of peace and good counsel, for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings, God. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, and famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing, and keep us safe in our going and coming to life and peace evermore. Baruch atah, atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo, ve'al Yerushalayim shalom, ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo, ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Adonai, haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. We continue in the prayer service with the first chance for us really to take a pause and offer our own prayer. As we begin the Amidah together, we finish it together, and in the middle we have a moment for silent reflection. So I think that many of us have had a week that could give us things to reflect on, or maybe just we need the opportunity for a pause from over-reflecting. So those are both prayerful moves to do, and it's up to you which to choose. Page 164. Please rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo ve'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al givurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimecha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yihallelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Friends, we continue in silence through page 180. Please take the time you need for your prayer and then have a seat when you're ready. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי ועליון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי. Yeah, please sing this with me. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי ועליון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my Redeemer. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי ועליון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my Redeemer. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי. For Misha Berach tonight, I just have to give first a little ray of sunshine in the Misha Berach, which is usually a sad time, which is that Helena Shanzer comes to everything. She's still here. She's still here. We just can't keep her away. And we love that. And also we know that there are people who want to be here, but they can't be here for lots of different reasons, including that they're not well enough to be, or they're caring for somebody who's not well enough to be. And some of them are with us on YouTube. So everybody can say shalom to those joining us and know that they're being thought of too at this time and throughout the service, of course. I'll share the names made known to our office for Misha Berach. And if you'd like to add somebody's name, you can too. We think of our temple members, April Diamato, Norma Diamond, Josh Lipschitz, Mark Warner, Stacy Reed, Helena Shanzer, and Janice Rosenberg, as well as our loved ones, Connie Ambrosino, Steve Bombs, Bob Shapiro, Chris Wilcox, Anna Pakosh, Mickey Bart, Jay Fliss, Mark Ostreicher, Bart Young, Cindy Scher, Matthew Pincus, Debbie Schnur, Peyton Marino, Joanne Crisulo, Brian Reese, Ginger Kane, Linda Garmisa, Soraya Casey, John Van Steenbergen, Kyle Mullins, Keith Siegel, Mark Lynette, Emily Green, Paul Frisman, Bruce Petroff, Ronnie Lustig, Tim Maurer, Gloria Newell, Sabine Meyer, Edison Goff, Benjamin Mayer, Ben Ruth, Susan Wolf, Jacob Salome, Marnie Katz, Ira Weiss, Stephen Asnis, Deanna Rosenberg, Garabo. Are there others here who'd like to share the name of the loved ones you're thinking about tonight? Please. Irene and Michael Parlamus. Parlamus? Sure. Allie Wenning. Avera Shafir. Harry, did you also want to mention someone?
That was the same person.
Same person? Okay.
You know, we tried to silence the new folks.
I didn't think you were doing it just to spite me, if that's what you were worried about.
I was afraid you might be
Helena, dear Helena, no. Okay, everybody, we join together in our voices and our prayers for those in need of healing. Misha Berach, D minor. This is on your prayer sheet. Sheberach Avoteinu Avraham, Yitzchak veYaakov Mi Sheberach Imoteinu Sarah Rivka Leah veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avoteinu Avraham, Yitzchak veYaakov. Mi sheberach imoteinu Sarah Rivka Leah veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. We've been talking a lot about theology recently at Temple Beth Tikvah. Some people here are in our Wednesday morning joint interfaith class. Here's a word for you, idolatry. You've heard it. It's a fancy sounding word. The concept is very simple. It just means worshiping the wrong thing. In this week's Torah portion, the Israelites indulge in idolatry when Moses takes too long to come down from Mount Sinai. It happens surprisingly quickly. He stays up there too long and they begin to doubt his leadership and make a golden calf. As it's usually translated, it's really a young bull, which makes it seem a little more fearsome than a sweet little golden calf. And it's an idol that can help them connect to God, who is invisible. It can help them have something to organize their spiritual energy around in the absence of their great leader. Of course, when Moses returns, he becomes livid. How could they so easily forget themselves? The great Protestant theologian Paul Tillich speaks of religion as an orientation toward ultimate concern. I mentioned this in the High Holidays. That which matters most to us is that which we consider ultimate. So therefore, idolatry is worshiping things that don't pass the ultimacy test. You can fill in the blank for yourself. Here are a few obvious ones: money, physical beauty, celebrity. I'll add to that tribal pride. Excessive pride in oneself and one's people can flirt with idolatry when it becomes not just tribal pride, but tribal supremacy. If the supreme value of my life is my people, to the exclusion of not just my life, but anybody else's life, or any other moral concern that might be in my orbit, I am definitely in danger of relating to my people as an idol. Many of you will remember the Oslo peace process in the 1990s between Israel and the Palestinians. These years, as I've described to you before, were my formative years relating to Israel, falling in love with Israel. They were years that were full of hope, yet eventually devastation and violence too. The murder of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, who was one of the chief architects of the peace process, is the first world tragedy that I remember noticing and feeling. I remember how there was a mournful atmosphere in my synagogue that week. I remember the grown-ups around me crying but not really understanding why. The previous year, another terrible event had occurred, one of which I was definitely not aware of at the time. That was when a Jewish terrorist named Baruch Goldstein entered Merat HaMachpelah, which is the cave of the Machpelah, traditionally the tomb where most of our patriarchs and matriarchs are buried in the West Bank town of Hebron. And that day he entered and gunned down 29 Palestinian worshippers. Certainly it should make us cringe to hear this. It should make us cringe to hear the words Jewish terrorist. It seems like an extreme and unlikely thing. Yet that is what he was. And in the days to follow, Prime Minister Rabin denounced him in a public speech before the entire Knesset. And I'll excerpt briefly from that speech. He says, "You are not part of the community of Israel. You are not part of the National Democratic camp to which we all belong to in this house. And many of the people despise you. You are not partners in the Zionist enterprise. You are a foreign implant. You are an errant weed. Sensible Judaism spits you out. You placed yourself outside of the wall of Jewish law. We say to this horrible man and those like him, you are a shame on Zionism and an embarrassment to Judaism." And this is coming from a strong leader who had guided Israel through many wars, been a trusted military strategist and two-time prime minister. And to go back to what he started saying, you are not part of the community of Israel. That's a very, very extreme thing to say. As you might know, it's not easy to not be Jewish. It's not easy to not, you can't really escape it. So I'm sorry. It's just impossible to really escape being Jewish, no matter what you do. Yet here's Yitzhak Rabin saying, what you have done is so extreme that it separates you from the community. In so many words, I would say, in today's language of my theme, Rabin was naming Goldstein as a Jewish idolater, somebody who worshipped not a golden calf, but at the altar of land and nation. These were not just his love, they were his gods, to the extent that that worship consumed him. Think of the families of the slain. Think of the peace process that in part that derailed. Just as the golden calf was destined to be consumed in fire in this week's Torah portion. But there is more. The timing of Goldstein's attack, which fell on Purim, which many of you know is coming up soon. The choice was intentional on Goldstein's part. In his twisted psyche, the Palestinians that he had murdered were the sons of the villain Haman, who had come to destroy his people, and he was acting out of pious revenge. Prime Minister Rabin came to point out how twisted that worldview was. Yet during the Oslo years, there were also those within the Israeli camp who looked at Rabin as a traitor for being willing to negotiate for peace. The country had decided to go for peace, but it was not unified in how to get there. And there were many who looked at Rabin as a traitor for his willingness to be a partner for peace. There were rallies in which he was compared to a Nazi. And a speaker at one of those rallies was a much younger Benjamin Netanyahu. It's very easy to draw a direct line from then to now. These days, Rabin is remembered as a hero for both his military leadership, his statesmanship, and especially his bravery as a peacemaker. This is a legacy that Netanyahu and his ultra-nationalist government have done everything in their power, which is a lot, to undo. I shared this at the high holidays before this war broke out, but this extremist government has turned for many of the most extreme members, and these include convicted criminals, people who have called Reform Jews Nazis. For many of them, this is their idolatry. They view it as Judaism. Most Jews would view it as a form of idolatry. They are so extreme that, in my opinion, they have removed themselves from the camp. And we are a broad, big tent with a lot of opinions and ideas. But when you incite violence from settlers, when you expand settlements and cause real harm to Palestinians, when you remove everything that makes peace possible, when you create the single greatest obstacle to peace, as steadfastly as we condemn anti-Semitism, and rightly so wherever it is found, friends, we must also condemn Jewish supremacy. And this extremist government is full of Jewish supremacy. Israel is supposed to be a safe haven for any and all Jews. That was, of course, its original purpose. It was supposed to make Jews around the world more safe. One of its first laws, the most essential existential laws, the law of return, Chok HaShvut, which allows any Jewish person anywhere in the world, so long as they had one grandparent of Jewish blood, they could return and make aliyah with no preconditions. It was supposed to keep Jews safe, and it was supposed to keep the rest of the world's Jews safe. These days, I do think it's reasonable to ask if that's still the case. This week, Rabbi Daniel Hartman, who is the president of the Hartman Institute in Jerusalem, by the way, I think a few years ago, before I got here with Rabbi Offner, you all had a program with the Hartman Institute where you talked about Israel from different viewpoints. Do you remember that discussion, those discussions? I'd like to excerpt briefly from what he had to say in a piece that he published this week. And I quote, "The morally troubling ideology of, quote, surviving the regional jungle, meaning a Middle East where we are surrounded by enemies. Proponents of this worldview see our neighborhood as being inhabited by individuals, groups, and nations devoid of moral principles, who see killing Jews as their right and duty. Therefore, they argue, our survival requires suspending moral aspirations, doing whatever is necessary to continue to exist in a brutal neighborhood." I'm sure we've all heard some version of this argument before, right? I'll continue to quote from him. He writes, "This approach is very dangerous because its proponents can delude themselves into believing they are maintaining their moral purity and standards, with all moral failure judged as the responsibility of the other." I'm going to read that one more time because that's important. These people can delude themselves into believing that they are maintaining their moral purity and standards, with all moral failure judged as the responsibility of the other. When the Arabs will put down their arms, they will say, Israel can return to its mission of spreading justice. Until such times when the, quote, wolf will lie down with the lamb, as the saying goes, we must be the wolf. This idea presents a greater danger to Israel's survival, he writes, than any Arab enemy, because it threatens our moral fiber and our credibility in the international community. It's remarkable that he wrote something like this. I just want to say that first and foremost. This is a guy who is a moral leader and a voice on behalf of world Jewry, located in the heart of world Jewry in Jerusalem, in an institute that is designed to uphold the Zionist cause and bring together world Jewry from all different perspectives, all different backgrounds in politics. I have to say that when I read these words, I found them very challenging, because the piece about the wolves, is true too. There are still so many regional forces that are committed to Israel's destruction. It really is a tough neighborhood out there, although it has become less tough with the Abraham Accords, peace with some of the Arab neighbors, which hopefully will continue eventually. So on the one hand, I can understand why people are very fearful about expressing that viewpoint about Israel's danger in the neighborhood. On the other hand, I think it's clear to all of us right now that the world has been hyper-focused on Israel in recent weeks and months. Hyper-focused on every step and mistake as it conducts this war. There are definitely double standards in that, and there are lots of world conflicts that do not get that level of attention. The attention in media coverage are biased and unfair. Just looking at the New York Times this week made me cringe. But the Jewish people have never been invited to play on a level playing field in the public sphere, in the court of public opinion. The allies of Israel and the Jewish people, if Israel is not careful, may not stay allies forever. And there are not that many of them. The state of Israel, I think, friends, is far too precious to be left to the idolaters in its government. Shabbat Shalom. Friends, please rise and join me in our concluding prayers, starting with Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 586. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gdula le'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, vegohur aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, Livnei melech malchei hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 591. Ve'ne'emar Vaya Adonai Lemelech al kol haaretz Vayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. Please have a seat, everybody. The light of life is like a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled. It burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full, but as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more, and no more are seen, yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die, We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Our hearts turn now to those whom we have lost, whether in recent days or in seasons gone by. As I read the name of your loved one, feel free to rise. If you're comfortable doing so, please stay standing. In the period of Shiva and Shloshim, we mourn the loss of Klaus Epler, father of Amy Epler-Epstein and Steve. Ken Gammerman, husband of Martha. Toby Ruth Geller, mother of David Geller and Ellen. And in the period of Yartzeit, we remember Esther Brisman, Sylvia Lashenick, Helen Racer, Mildred Skolnick, Belle Belsky, Harriet Cohn Haggerty, Beverly Kislak, Estelle Masler, Barney Davis, Marion Klein, Merck Rosenblum, Stanley H. Rosenfeld, Eva Strauss, Rena Sack, Samuel Skolnick, Marvin Stein, Harry Topolowski, David Werblow, Diane Bell, Sarah Garth, George Cohn. If anyone else is in a period of mourning, I do invite you to rise, be recognized at this time. As we know, we are joined by those who are mourning with us and from YouTube. I invite all of us to please rise together in solidarity with our mourners as we offer these words of Jewish consolation and comfort. Yitkadal v'yitkadesh shemei rabbah, v'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevorach le'alam u'le'almei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, zamiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shmaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and comfort to the bereaved. As together we say, Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Please have a seat, friends. Karen, would you like to come forward?
Hello, Shabbat Shalom. I'm Karen Goldberg. I'm the president of TBT. Join us tomorrow on Zoom at 8 a.m. for mindfulness and meditation, and at 9 a.m. for Torah study led by Rabbi Moss. The links are in your email. On Sunday, TBT will be hosting a joint program with the Jewish Federation of Greater New Haven called Surviving the Holocaust with twins, Gita Morris Martin and her sister Monica White. They will talk about their experience at the Shanghai ghetto. On March 4th, TBT members have the opportunity to join online with a discussion with Dr. Betsy Stone on how to talk about Israel with your family and friends. The link to register for this event is in your email. On Wednesday, March 6th, the Community Security Service Organization will be holding a 1-hour security training. This is an accessible experience held over Zoom from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Please attend. The information is in your email. Next Friday, the religious school's 3rd and 4th graders will have a Shabbat dinner with an oneg sponsored by class parents. TBT will also have visiting congregants from the First Congregational Church of Madison joining us to experience a Shabbat service. On Sunday, you can join Rabbi Moss by going to church at FCC to experience their Sunday service at 10 a.m. We have even more events coming this month, including Eliana Light as our musician in residence for the Solidiker Music Weekend and Purim activities. Stay tuned. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
Yes, that's true. I don't know why that's not in the announcements, but the men's group is also. The truth is, the reason it's not in the announcements is there are so many things that we didn't have space for in the announcements, so we could ask that about all the other things didn't get in the announcements. So men's club, please come on Sunday. I'll be with you this time. I know that my schedule on Sunday has gotten crazy, but I definitely wanted to spend some time with you also. I'll be with you on Sunday to have a discussion. Our closing song is Oseh Shalom. Did you have a specific melody in mind, Karen, or I can choose? I didn't want to put you on the spot. Okay. Not that one. Great. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Bo'achem l'shalom, utzeitchem l'shalom. Friends, as you came in peace, so may you depart in peace, but not without getting a little bite of challah first. So let's go make Kiddush together. Shabbat shalom.